It's the SKOR North Twins Show.
All right, SKOR North Twins Show, extra innings episode here. A little series recap between the Twins and Mariners. If you haven't already, we crossed over that 5,200 subscriber list. So thank you so much. And if you haven't already, you can click the like button and subscribe button here for Minnesota Twins content on the SKOR North Twins Show YouTube channel. Twins in the midst of their longest road trip of the season. They'll return home this weekend against Toronto. Really fun, entertaining series in Seattle. I know the Twins lose 2-3, but still one that I really enjoyed. And if you're a baseball fan with games coming down to basically the last out or extra innings, it was a lot of fun. So we'll recap it a little bit here on the SKOR North Twins Show. We can start with today's game, obviously. Twins end up losing in the bottom of the ninth today to Seattle by a score of 2-1. Twins had tied the game in the top of the ninth. The offense had just 6 hits today, just 4 or 5 going into the top of the ninth inning. Yesterday, really struggled 4 for 19, I believe, with runners in scoring position. Today, not a whole lot of cracks on it when you only get 6 hits through 9 innings. But Twins were 0 for 3. They left 8 on today, and unfortunately, they wasted another masterful performance from Chris Paddack, who probably put up the best start of his career, to be honest. 8 innings, 4 hits, gives up the 1 home run, that being to Cal Raleigh, who, last year Bobby Witt was the bad luck loser, I guess, in terms of an MVP race. Any other year that Aaron Judge isn't there, Bobby Witt is the unanimous MVP. That might be the case for Cal Raleigh this year. Raleigh's absurd. It's one of the best hitting catching seasons I think we've seen in literally years. And the pitch that Paddack missed on to Raleigh, I mean, that's a good location. Like, he just went down there and got it. So Paddack was phenomenal. Those 10 strikeouts. The Sheriff's been dialed in, man. Today, the velocity was, pretty solid throughout the game, mixing in that fastball, changeup, and slider. Also, the curveball was mixing in 4 things really well today. Got swings and misses, got 17 on them in that 110-pitch performance, which was a career high for Chris Paddack. But Twins offense wastes another start from Patty. I think I looked this up going into the game. In 9 of his last 10 starts, Chris Paddack, that is, he has allowed 2 runs or less, which is about as ideal as it gets. The bad news is the Twins have won just 3 of those games. I mean, he's getting little to no run support coming into this one. I think just getting 2.6 runs per game of run support. So the Twins offense has not backed him up. I know pitching wins-loss records for starting pitchers is sometimes a little bit misleading, and he is certainly having a great year in Chris Paddack and got off to a rough start in those first 2, especially the one in Chicago, and I think struggled against Houston, too, in his second start. Since then, though, 10-start sample size here, and he's been absolutely phenomenal. But the Twins offense hasn't been able to give him anything, man. It's really too bad because for as much as this show has definitely ragged on him, and certainly Twins fans have been down on it as well, Chris Paddack just unfortunately wasn't able to get the run support that he needs. We'll see what happens in his next start. Yeah, this series, though, is fun, man. I mean, Friday night's game, epic rally, right? And look, they dialed it back again here today against one of the best closers in baseball. But down 4 runs, come back to tie that game, then you explode for 6 in the top of the 10th, and it was a hard fought series. I would love to see these 2 teams play in the postseason, man. This had postseason feel the entire weekend. Seattle was rocking, especially today. You could hear that on the telecast. 2 franchises that Seattle, not as much playoff appearances as the Twins, certainly in the last 20 years, but 2 franchises that at times have had very good teams that have had nothing to show for it, either getting to the playoffs or when they've gotten there. They haven't been able to do it. And these would be 2 teams that are feisty and hungry to prove that they belong in postseason baseball. Yeah, I mean, sign me up. Sign me up for a playoff series. Obviously, if it'd be a wild card series, all 3 games would be at one venue. But I would love this type of series. And look, Seattle's probably the best pitching in the league. Cal Raleigh is obviously having an MVP season. Julio Rodriguez, who darted out Matt Wallner at the plate yesterday. I know wave him home, Watkins. Definitely some poor execution, I think, all around, by the way. I know Watkins sending Wallner was maybe not the right call. That route, and maybe Wallner wasn't expecting to go, and that probably maybe plays a factor into it. But that route from Wallner, rounding third base, and a guy who definitely is, I know that probably the hamstring, right? Like, yes, he's back, but not have, when you pop your hamstring and have a hamstring tear, you're probably not at your 100th percentile in speed like you were in spring training or before the injury. But I thought that route was really weird from Wallner in general. And yeah, I mean, it's a dart from Julio, but like it was shallow center field. I don't know. I know it's a hard place to hit. It's deep, so it's a little deceptive when you're watching on TV. But I think it was more than just Watkins waving him home that led to the Twins not being able to score there. And, I mean, you got to cash in a run. You get two opportunities at it, right, in the 10th and 11th, not able to do so. And that was really unfortunate for the Twins. In a series, again, that they definitely could have swept. They probably could have won. They only come out 1 of 3. They've only won now, 2 out of 6 games on this road trip, starting with Tampa Bay and 3 here against Seattle. Now they go and play the Athletics for 4. Not the results you want, but I thought that series was an absolute basket. Just from a baseball fan, certainly you want to see the Twins win that series, but wasn't the case. But again, give me that playoff series every single time. If you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twins Show. We'll have a State of the Twins tomorrow with Mackie and Judd. Our guy Trevor Plouffe's been on the call in Seattle, doing a great job. So Coach Trev joins us every Tuesday on the SKOR North Twins Show. So if you're hearing Trevor Plouffe for the first time on the broadcast, he joined the Twins last year. He was with us here on the SKOR North Twins Show every Tuesday too. So if you've enjoyed Trevor Plouffe, you're enjoying him in the booth, you can also find him right here on the SKOR North Twins Show every Tuesday. We're looking forward to chatting with him from Sacramento, from some hotel, I believe, in Sacramento on Tuesday. So that should be pretty cool. Some other things just of note. Obviously, the offense, just 4 of 22 with runners in scoring position over the last 2 games. This has been a team that's been very advantageous with situational hitting and runners in scoring position. The offense as a whole has dealt with injuries to it. It's dealt with ineffectiveness to it. But one thing that's really propelled the Twins over the last, after the bad first 20 games to start the season, has been their clutch hitting. And, you're certainly not going to, pun intended, bat 1,000 with runners in scoring position, but 4 for 22 obviously does not cut it there. That was pretty poor. And, I mean, today even in the game, it was Castillo on the mound. And, I mean, Castillo gave up 4 hits, walked a couple dudes. Twins had some base runners today. They just couldn't drive them in. But certainly got to be better than that going into the Athletics series. We can probably talk about Royce in detail tomorrow, but I mean, this does not look good for our guy Royce Lewis. So Royce in the midst of just an insane slump after dealing with like an 0 for 38 from last season into this season that he snapped already. Batted 9th today, was pulled for Brooks Lee as a switch hitter, which, I mean, I kind of get the logic. Obviously, they brought in a righty. Brooks Lee can bat on the left side. He rewards it with a single. So, results, that's great. But I don't think that does a lot for the confidence right now in Royce Lewis, which is crazy. I mean, number one, he's batting 9th, and he's getting pinch hit for, and we're June 1st into 2025. If I said that was the case for the Twins season, that he'd be batting 9th, and he's going to be pinch hit for in a game on June 1st. If you told me that before the season started, I would assume that this Twins season has gone completely off the rails. And Royce right now, man, I mean, just 9 hits in 70-plus at-bats, hitting $127. I saw Aaron Gleeman of The Athletic had a really solid write-up about the struggles he's been going through. You can go check that out. But the strikeout rate is fine for Royce. It's not like he's striking out and swinging and striking out a ton. He's just not making hard contact. Certainly some atom ball situations, he has a couple home runs robbed over the last 2 weeks, and he even the other day, had some just bad luck. But regardless, man, for a guy that needs to be one of the catalysts of your lineup when he's hitting 9th and being basically subbed off the game, I mean, that tells me something. I don't know. There isn't anyone necessarily pushing him. I'm not saying he's going to be demoted, and nor should he be maybe demoted, but there's no one behind him that is pushing him for a job necessarily. Like Jose Miranda hasn't been good. Edward Julian hasn't been good. Ryan Fitzgerald came up here, basically got a roster crunch of necessity. And Trevor Plouffe told us on Tuesday that I think he just needs a hug and needs a you're not going anywhere type of pep talk. But man, this is as baffled as I have probably been during his tenure here. Royce's, he's obviously, even though battled a bunch of injuries, but when he's been in the lineup, and as I've been kind of saying, there's been more good than bad with Royce Lewis. But you date it back to last season, and he's legitimately one of the least effective hitters in major leagues. If you take the sample how things ended at the last 40 games or so last year to now the first 20 games he's played in 2025. That's rough. I hope he snaps out of it. He certainly has had stretches where he looks like one of the best hitters in baseball. So Carlos Correa went through a really rough stretch to begin this year. Then he started finding things out. Buck at times has been a very streaky hitter in his career. I mean, hell, that's baseball. Like the game of streaks. Like sometimes I think we get way too polarized in he's too much of a streaky hitter. You play 162 games, you're gonna be streaky. But 9 hits and 71 at bats for, again, your kind of franchise savior and number 1 overall pick. Yeah, that is concerning. Like I'm certainly am concerned about what you're seeing here from him. But hopefully he snaps out of it. Twins now are going to head to Sacramento to play the not nameless, but cityless Athletics. 4 games in Sacramento. Joe Ryan will get the ball tomorrow, going against Luis Severino. It should be a fun one. Sevy got off to a great start this year, and he is having still a solid year. But Joe Ryan versus Luis Severino should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to watching that game. And then, as I just closed out my browser here, that was really smart of me, Declan. But they'll have 3 more games in Sacramento before heading back home. But Pablo Lopez gets the ball on Tuesday, Zebby Matthews on Wednesday, Chris Paddack there on Thursday to get at that start. So, Bailey Ober to wrap up that series there. Paddack will make the start when the Twins return home against Toronto. But yeah, that should be a fun series. I think you don't love to take like too much solace in this, but I mean, right now Twins are 7 games back. The Royals have been struggling a bit. Guardians have been fighting it a little bit. So right now the Tigers are 6 games clear of Cleveland. They're 7 games clear of Minnesota, 8 games clear of Kansas City, who, they have a negative run differential. They've won 4 of their last 10 games. Twins have only won 4 of their last 10 games too. I'm certainly not saying that the Twins have been markedly better from them, but Twins right now, the offense, even though they've gotten Wallner back, and we saw a home run yesterday, which was huge. They got Buck back. Just 2 wins in the last 5 games? Is that right? 2 wins in the last 6-7 games. So you got to pick it up. I mean, if you can go back into Sacramento, it's so weird saying that. If you can go play the Athletics and win 3 out of 4, obviously a sweep would be gigantic. If you can win 3 out of 4, that's huge. You would take a split, I think, as a whole on this road trip. That still wouldn't be a very successful one. I think we're officially off the Dex plan of going 9-4. I think that's mathematically impossible now. But the Athletics, if you can go in there, take 3 of 4 and head back home, I think that'd be gigantic. And look, Toronto's waiting for them. Great crowd, by the way. I'm looking forward to, obviously, that's always one of the most fun series of the year. But Toronto's starting to play a little bit. They've won 5 in a row. They're second place in the AL East. That offense, which we've been kind of waiting for on paper to be really, really good, has been good lately. I mean, they had 12 runs, 11 runs, 8 runs, 8 runs. They're starting to click a little bit. They swept the Athletics team that the Twins are about to go play. So hopefully the Twins can finish this season-long road trip on a high note and then return home against Toronto. But yeah, just a tightly contested, fun series of baseball, man. Like I love that type of stuff. I know it's high stress, and when it's October, you're compared to June 1st, your stress level watching that's probably not as high, especially as someone who, when he watches the Twins play playoff baseball, is probably as stressed as I ever am. That would be really fun. I would love to see these 2 teams play again in October. Let's see here. Seattle, they're at Seattle already. And then the Mariners will come here in 2 weeks. They're here Monday June 23rd through Thursday, June 26th. A 4-game series near the end of June. So Twins we'll see the Seattle team again here in a couple weeks. Appreciate you guys hanging out, listening, watching, consuming this on the SKOR North Twin Show here. We'll have a State of the Twins tomorrow. Mackie Judd, our favorite Twins thing, a vibe check, least favorite thing, plus some updated playoff odds, etc. So that should be really fun. Again, Trevor Plouffe Tuesday as well. And then, I'll with these late starts, right? They've been playing 9 o'clock starts. They had like a 7 p.m. local start because it was a nationally televised game, but more 9 p.m. starts here Monday through Wednesday. They'll have a day game on Thursday. So extra inning content probably coming at you at the end of the athletic series, but you'll have some full Twin shows Monday, Tuesday, and for sure Thursday on that as well. You go check out some of the prospect updates too that I released in previous episodes. If that's stuff you're interested in, they're baked in at the back end of some episodes here. I just got this guy today too. Got this little Gio Gonzalez, little auto, little nice mojo auto there. I know I've talked about card stuff, kind of in passing on stuff. If this is stuff you want, let me know. I saw, who was it? It was Danny Coulomb. Danny Coulomb was opening cards in the Twins locker room last homestand, and had never done it before. So talk to him a little bit about cards. If that's content you also kind of want here, I am totally game. Obviously, it's a long season, and some of those guys in the Twins clubhouse also collect and rip and open cards. So if that's stuff you want, hit me up. I'll gladly continue to pump out stuff like that. So appreciate you guys listening, watching the SKOR North Twin Show. State of the Twins tomorrow. This is Extra Innings. I'm Declan Goff. We'll be talking at you soon.